This episode of Totes Recall is brought to you by...
Terrible origami.
No!
Oh, wait.
Traitor.
Oh.
Despite...
Traitable origami, more like.
Yeah. Despite the rumor mill saying they moved a single product...
Recently.
We still are not sponsored by them again. But... Never fear. Obviously, we still have a sponsor, or else you wouldn't be listening to this
beloved
episode.
angel investor.
Yeah, angel investor, Mêlée à Trois. Oh,
Ooh.
what is Mêlée à Trois, you
That
might
sounds
wonder?
sensual.
It does, because it's a reference to a three-way sex thing.
Okay.
No.
But it's not a sex show.
It's not a sex show.
Let's make that very clear.
Nor is it fighting with swords.
No.
What?
Melee.
Unless
Yeah.
they're improvised.
Spacework swords.
Spacework
Spacework
swords. Which might be the name of a group taking place in Mêlée à Trois.
Yes.
As far as we know.
Yes.
Anyway, this is a improv show with 3 different improv teams that perform sequentially, I presume.
Right.
And then...
I bet they do it all at once.
Well,
We don't know.
It's a
You'll have to go.
melee.
You'll have to
find
go
out.
to Bryan Lake Bowl
Yeah.
to find out.
and you, the audience, judge them. First you come,
Nice.
then you laugh, and then you judge.
I mean,
Wow,
you could.
that's a pretty good tagline that you just made up.
Yeah. And then the winner moves on to the next show.
Cool.
Oh, so, okay, all right. So you're like the producer. You're deciding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the decider.
You're the decider. You are the president.
You
Bush
are
of
you
the
are
audience.
George W. Bush of that week's Mêlée à Trois show.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You will bring your friends to demonstrate to the improv groups what yellow cake uranium looks like, and insist that Saddam Hussein
Okay,
has.
Okay.
let's get back on topic.
Well, you know what I find interesting is it's at Bryant Lake Bowl in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting.
Thank
Molly,
you.
tell us more.
And it's on Thursday nights.
Wow, that's a great night.
What
Thank you. I
Thursday
thought
nights?
So. Well, October 27th and November 10th. It starts at 10 p.m., but the doors open at 9:30.
Oh, that's good.
That means you have time to get snacks.
Yeah.
But,
Oh.
yeah, snacks on snacks.
This sounds like such a great show. I bet the tickets are like $40.
It'd have to be.
It'd have to be. And that's like less than $13 per group. But
No, guess what?
What?
What, Beth?
They're only 10
What?
human dollars.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait, for each group?
No, for the whole
The whole show?
Right.
And if you buy your tickets in advance, they're only $6 buckaroonies.
Wow.
That's like buying a coffee that you don't need.
Yeah. You'd be a fool not to go to facebook.com/comelaughjudge to find out more.
Suck it, terrible origami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totes Recall.
Ooh, welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we don't remember very well, watch that movie, eat 2 pizzas, 2 salads,
Ugh.
enjoy the movie or not enjoy the movie,
Oh.
Oh.
come back, talk about what we got right and or wrong, how we felt it held up to viewing in its current day and age,
Whether women talked?
whether women talked.
To each other.
My name is Dan.
My name is Molly. I still object to pizza and salad talk.
I'm also Dan. I wish we kept it going even further. I would like to talk about the toppings. I'd like to talk about the various vegetable ingredients in each salad.
I believe we have a standing offer. If you donate $100 to Totes Rico, we will tell you what we put in our pizza.
I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
So PayPal us at hello@totesrico.com, $100, and we will reply and tell you what is on our pizza.
Private message.
And send you a picture
To
of the salads. Not the pizzas.
Nice.
And I'm Beth.
Yay!
Hey, we did it.
In our movie, spooky Halloween.
Oh.
I forgot to welcome you in a spooky way because it's our
Yes, that's
Halloween
right.
episode. Our movie is Ghost.
Ghost.
Ooh.
The spookiest movie in the world, I
Yeah.
assume.
It's very spooky.
It's so spooky. There's spooks in it. Another term for ghosts.
Oh.
It's true.
Oh, or spies.
What?
Spies?
Sometimes, I think.
Like government
Yeah.
men?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Spooks is another term for spies.
Oh.
Not spies. Are
I
also
thought you
what
were
you call
saying
ghosts.
spies is also a name for ghosts. I was very confused.
What if the government is using ghost spies, though?
Oh,
Like, if you could
brilliant.
tap the
That's what
ghost...
ghosts are.
Yeah.
It's just some future technology where you like zap yourself into a room and then disappear really quick.
They're
Yeah.
just holograms.
Oh, that answers my question. Because like, if you had ghosts, you wouldn't need to develop half the technology we have.
Why?
Because they could serve as satellites and stuff.
They can serve as satellites.
Well, yeah, you
Jesus,
need
Molly.
to see something from far away.
Get up in space there, ghosts!
How are they going to transmit? Like, they can go to space.
What do they
but
even
then what?
see, though? Do ghosts have zoom powers?
Is that what
If they just
space
have regular
ghost
human
coast
vision.
To coast means?
He's a satellite?
Yeah, he's a
He
satellite.
does have a talk
Oh.
show.
Yeah,
Well.
he does.
R.I.P.
Oh, well, I
That
have
other
a
guy.
very
Not
clear
Space Ghost.
memory of seeing Ghost, the movie starring Demi Moore
Mm.
and Patrick Swayze.
Oh.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Berg? Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
she, didn't
There's-
she win an Oscar for this? Or nominated for an Oscar for this?
She might have. I know she has
Statues.
EGOTed.
Yeah.
EGOT. Sorry,
And
it's just fun. It's a fun word. To say.
Jaquette's bet, she won an Oscar for this.
Cool.
Ooh,
I'll double
bold.
down on that since I said it out loud first.
Yeah. Anyway, you had a memory, Molly?
Oh, yeah. So I definitely saw this when I was in high school. And the reason I know that is because I wrote a movie review for Grady High School's newspaper, The Southerner, which was a downtown paper for an upbeat school.
Love it.
Oh.
Or upbeat, I'm pretty sure. It was pretty bad. I tried to get them to change the tagline, and they wouldn't.
The tagline for the whole paper?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, not just me.
Were you the senior editor?
No.
You were just the movie reviewer, and you
I
had...
wasn't even a regular movie reviewer.
You were a freelance entertainment writer, and you had the tenacity to just be like, hey, I've got an idea for this paper. Smoking your cigar, I assume.
Well, I tried. It was a regionally award-winning newspaper.
Ooh.
And for the most part, I think I contributed pretty well, but I recall distinctly finding an old issue when I was a senior in high school and reading it and just having a terrible moment of realization that I was a terrible writer.
Oh.
And I mentioned it to my best friend Kelly in homeroom. It's like, wow, I was a terrible writer. I had no idea. And she's like, what are you talking about? And I showed her this movie review of the movie Ghost. And she took one look at it and was like, you hated this movie. You hated every part of it.
Oh, no.
The newspaper advisor forced you to watch the movie. I'm amazed that you got it done. No wonder. And this is terrible. And it is, you guys. It's a really terrible article. So that is why my guess is that this movie came out in 1990.
Great.
Did
And-
you do a real hatchet job on the movie? in
No,
your
I
review?
raved about it.
Whoa.
That is how you know I was checked out. I said, oh, I think it's something like Ghost has something for everyone. Romance. I think I said it was spooky.
Where is your journalistic integrity?
Zero. I had zero integrity. I did not like the movie, and I raved about it because that was an easier review to write, and I wouldn't get in as much trouble. Wow, I feel worse. I feel actually worse revealing this to you guys.
Well, now you get the opportunity to
Yes.
review it with honesty.
Yes.
In the second half of this
redemption.
podcast.
Oh,
Excellent.
cool.
Yeah, the subtitle of this episode, it's Ghost, Molly's Redemption.
I love it. I love
We've
it.
never done a subtitle before.
But we're doing it.
But we're doing it for this one.
Yep. Beth, write that down. Dear Beth, please put this subtitle after this
I
title.
always write.
Love Beth.
I always write my notes as like letters to myself.
Yeah.
You-
Dear future Beth, sincerely yours, Beth.
I don't remember when I watched this movie. I've for sure seen it, but I think this was probably like a caught it on TV type of movie, like sometime in high school. I know the year it came out because I spoiled it while trying to figure out how we could watch it. So I won't reveal that information until the second half.
Wow.
Stick around. But I remember really enjoying it.
Really?
Yeah. And being kind of creeped out by it.
Oh.
I mean, if I had seen it soon after it came out, if you are correct about 1990, I would have been around 10 or so. And it's got some scary moments, I think. Right?
Well, there's a subway. There's a chase in the subway, and somebody leaps through.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like that creepy
He's
ghost
another
mentor.
ghost. He has a ghost mentor.
Really?
I love ghosts, you guys.
Do you remember when you saw it, Beth?
I was probably like 10 or 11. I definitely saw it on TV. And
But
then
it was TBS.
yeah, but I don't think it was TBS at that time.
No way. I feel like that's all they show.
Ghost?
Ghost?
But, I mean, it is one of those shows that's always on TV, and so I've probably seen it at least 10 times.
10 times.
10 times. Yeah, it was at that point in my life, it was my favorite movie.
Whoa.
Wow.
We got a real battle going on here.
no.
Potential
Yeah.
battle.
Oh, gosh. I feel really bad already.
I, however, am the chaotic neutral one because I have never seen this movie.
Oh.
What?
I thought we had all seen this movie.
No. We had this conversation months ago. Oh, spooky reveal.
So
We had this conversation months ago where Molly was like, guys, we should watch Ghost for Halloween. And she insisted how funny that is. And I mentioned multiple times that I'd never seen it, so just we have to accept that.
And then we all ignored you.
Yep.
And pretended
They were like, yeah, Ghost for
I'll see
Halloween, which is fine. We've done 3-1
That's
shows
fine.
before.
It's fine.
We accidentally do with Molly all the time.
Yeah. Well, then, Dan, as someone who has never seen it,
Yeah.
what do you think is in this movie?
Here's
Yeah.
all I know about this movie is from clips of it and comedians talking about it on shitty VH1 clip shows.
Yeah.
So I know there's a pottery scene.
Yes.
Yes.
I
So
know
hot.
there is like an evil ghost who like messes with Sways or something. Or he's like in some way a jerk, right? There's someone who's a jerk. Maybe he's not even a ghost. Maybe there's just a jerk guy.
There you go.
Okay. And that jerk guy gets attacked by ghosts at one point because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
And I know Whoopi Goldberg's in it because everyone does.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Those
But
are-
I will keep this entire time, I think, until we actually start watching the movie. And probably even during the movie, I will think it's Dirty Dancing. And I will wish it was Point Break.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Hashtag Where's Bodie?
Yeah, I think you're right on all those. You're probably thinking about the main antagonist.
Okay. Maybe that's not a ghost. He's just a guy.
There's a
He's a
jerk
guy.
ghost, but there's also a guy who.
Is a jerk?
So, Patrick Swayze gets murdered.
What?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Sam.
Wait, this
Oh.
isn't
I
like
remember this.
this
Name
isn't
is
like
Sam.
Ghost Dad, where it's just like a
No.
car accident
No,
or
he
some
He is
shit.
murdered.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like The Crow.
Yeah. And his girlfriend,
Yes.
Demi Moore,
Okay.
is heartbroken.
Yeah, of course.
Are they
and-
just girlfriend boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not
Pretty sure.
hitched.
Oh, before he gets murdered, though, there is a very sexy pottery scene.
Yeah, pottery. They're both alive for.
They love pottery, and then there's like a scene, and then that song plays, which I can never remember the words to.
Oh.
Unchained Melody?
Yeah. Is it? Oh,
Yes. Oh, because this poor guy.
And then what's this one?
Hunger for
There it is.
your touch.
Yeah. I thought he was a ghost when they do that.
No.
Uh,
That is also true.
I see.
it happens
Multiple times.
multiple times.
Like 4 times?
No.
Is it like every...
At least twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
it's twice.
a very. So, and then Whoopi Goldberg plays a medium.
Okay.
That's her role because Swayze is like, hey, I gotta tell my girlfriend that
Yeah, well-
I got murdered. And also, you're
So-
in danger.
You're killing Beth right now, Dan. You're killing her.
I'm going to be a ghost by the end of this
Yeah.
episode.
Why?
This is how the podcast works. We talk about things we don't
Yeah,
know.
do it.
Yeah, I think Denise Moore is in danger from also the guy who's maybe creeping on her. Dan's
Yeah.
bet, evil guy creeping.
I think the evil guy works with him.
Who?
The evil guy. Okay, there's an
Versus
evil guy.
Swayze.
Right.
He, I believe, works with Sam
Swayze.
at a computer place.
Beep
There's
boop, beep
definitely
boop.
some beep boops and beep bops in this movie.
Okay.
Um,
Oh yeah, because there's a scene where he like possesses, like after he's learned how to use his ghost powers, he like possesses the computer and sends
What?
threatening messages
Yeah.
to the evil
Or he-
creepo.
I don't know if he possesses the computer as much as he types on the keyboard.
Sure, he ghost types.
But I mean, he might. I don't remember.
This just affirms the connection between ghosts and technology.
Right. Ghost in the machine.
Yeah.
Or typing on the machine.
Yeah. Ghost typist.
So is he... Do we know... Like, is he murdered for a reason? Or is he
Yes.
just in the wrong place at the wrong time?
He is murdered for a reason.
Okay.
Is
I
it
believe
because...
it's insurance money or something.
Bad business.
Or he has some sort of... Because remember, he has to go to the bank and transfer money?
With
He
his
has to
ghost
get-
Molly's
powers?
bet
No.
it's due to greed.
It's for sure greed. That's a good bet.
I'm going to say, you guys both sound confident, but regardless of that, I'm going to say he murdered because he wants some of that to me. More.
What?
He wants some more
A dead Demi Moore. Yeah.
He's creeping on Swayze.
The murderer is creeping on Demi Moore.
And so he gets Swayze out of the way.
Whoa.
Well, but he has to warn her because they're going to kill
Kill
her.
her. Yeah.
Oh,
But he's like...
she's the target?
What?
They're both... She might... I think she is the target.
So are they
then
married
he
or they
defends-
just have
No,
a life
they're-
insurance policy together?
No, it's not life insurance then. It's... Maybe... No, she has like a large amount of money. For some reason.
Like an inheritance?
I don't know.
Like her pottery
We'll find
store?
out.
Like
These
you'll
are the
inherit the
details I
pottery
can't-
store if you kill her or something?
But then why would... So he wants to kill Swayze and them, so then he's the next of kin? That's not right.
I just feel like
It's
the
their son?
cause is very unimportant. All you have to know is that Patrick Swayze is a ghost.
Okay.
Okay?
He wakes up very confused.
He's so
and he
confused.
sees his body.
Oh,
and he's like, I am dead.
terrifying.
And
yeah.
he learns through the help of a ghost mentor how to move a penny or how to how to
like touch things in the real world
Yes.
and move them.
and then at some point he becomes aware that Demi is in trouble, and then he focuses all of his efforts on saving her. Meanwhile, Whoopi Goldberg is comedic. What do we call it? Comedic relief. And she and Demi almost kiss at the end because he inhabits her body.
I think they full on. Here's Dad's bet. Whoopi and Demi full on have sex in this movie.
Yep,
they bang.
they do.
While Swayze is possessing Whoopi Goldberg.
Right.
I also agree.
What?
I would say this is going to be a did they bang, and my bet is yes.
Yes. One part I always remember this movie after I've already seen it is like thinking back because there's a hot sex scene between Swayze and Demi Moore. That
But
you
after
see
he's
that
dead.
you visually see
So-
Swayze and Demi
But he's dead already.
banging. Yes.
Yeah, he goes, okay, so he finds out that there's this medium. He goes to visit her. There's like this whole comical scene where like a guy possesses her body, and then he like talks to this woman, and then he's like, oh, like you can actually hear me. And then he sings I'm Henry VIII a bunch of times to annoy her enough
Oh.
to go to see Demi, and then she comes and knocks on the door, and she's like, Sam is talking to me, and then she's like, I don't know why you're here and bothering me, and that's when he pulls out the penny
Swayze
trick.
moves a penny up.
She
a wall.
passes a penny underneath the door, and then he picks the penny up the wall, but she can't see him clearly, he's a ghost, and then pulls the penny across the room to her.
And it takes all his strength.
And then he ghost
This movie
dies.
really does have everything.
It really does for everyone.
Yeah, and then she lets Whoopi in, and then Swayze
then
pisses
they-
Whoopi, and they bang.
Then they bang.
But I feel like they never acknowledge the fact
They
that
don't
happened.
because they show him possess Whoopi, and then it's like Whoopi is there, and then she turns into Patrick Swayze.
That's not how ghosts work.
And then they bang.
That's not how ghosts work.
But really, it's a visual that is Patrick Swayze. So yeah, they bang.
Yeah.
Is this like a consensual thing with Whoopi? Like, does she understand what she's getting herself into?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Does she, though? Will we see it that way watching it now?
I don't know.
Like, is there a clear moment where she's like, it's okay,
she
let's
says,
do this?
She nods her head.
Yeah. she
Now,
does.
is that an affirmative and enthusiastic consent?
Thank you.
There is definitely, that's bet, there is a moment of consent.
Okay.
Molly's bet it is not an enthusiastic and verbal consent.
But maybe that's just how Whoopi's playing the character.
Listen, she's hyper-verbal in every other way.
That's true.
And
Me is giving
hyper-enthusiastic.
consent. Oh wait, Whoopi's giving consent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because her body's being
be
taken
possessed.
over.
Her body, her business.
Yeah.
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 At one point, Whoopi is at her house, her apartment, and Arsenio Hall is on.
What?
Oh.
These are things I remember.
very
Oh, I was
specific
very
bet.
much hoping you were going to say Arsenio Hall is there.
No.
Yeah.
It is on.
In the apartment.
'Cause
Well,
I
this-
believe that's the first time I saw Arsenio.
Very good.
So do you think this will pass the Bechdel-Wallace test?
Yes.
No.
I mean, do they
No?
talk to each other about anything but Patrick Swayze?
I don't think so.
And then they're... Well,
Maybe Whoopi has like another client that she says by name, and they talk about like their dead mother or something.
maybe.
Oh, actually, yes, I do think so because I think she talks to her sister,
Who does?
Whoopi.
Talks to her own sister?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Keep
they're...
it spicy. I'm going to vote no.
Yeah.
A spicy no. I think just based on the fact that there's two women in major roles in this
Yeah.
that interact with each other a bunch, like there's got to be at least two throwaway lines next to each other.
Sure.
So
Hi, my name is Whoopi Goldberg's character. Can I come into your home?
yeah,
Yes,
no.
you can.
Yeah, or no, why are you here?
Oda
Pass.
Mae Brown,
What?
Whoa.
I believe is her name.
Okay.
Wow.
Great.
Because I've seen this movie a lot of times,
Yeah.
but,
No, but
not
see-
for a very long time. That's the thing.
But here's what's surprising to me is I feel like there's been lots of movies that you've seen before, but I don't remember you having such a vivid collection
Yeah.
of memories.
Because I've seen this movie so many times.
Wow, so this is like not My Little Mermaid, Little Mermaid, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And that's another movie that I like owned on VHS and had seen a billion times.
Awesome.
Another memory I have of this movie, the ending there that disturbed me is there's, without giving too much away to Dan,
Whatever.
there's a, well,
He already spoiled this.
I'll
part.
give it all away. The bad guy is killed, I think, by
like by ghosts, right?
a
No.
pane of glass, like
Yeah.
a jagged pane of glass, like guillotining him.
What?
And
it
then
goes through his
there's
body.
like a shitty 80s, 90s ghost effect where like evil spirit gremlins like come out and
Yeah.
like get him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's maybe this part.
That's
you
what
don't
I'm thinking of.
remember.
Yeah. Because it was some, like, I don't know, some old cast member of Mad TV or whatever. It was just like, and then the ghost cans came out, bro.
It's like The Mummy?
What?
The Mummy where the bugs take over?
Kind of.
So it kind of-
but
but
it's
it's
like
like
shadows.
demons.
They're like shadows and they like turn
Yeah,
into...
they're like that same effect like in, I don't know, like Ghostbusters, where it's like a weird translucent thing that they maybe just drew
Drew
on
onto
film.
the cell, yeah.
And so it looks real crappy, but I remember being really creeped out.
At the time.
Yeah,
Cool.
at the time.
So, okay. Does Creeper, does he understand, like, before the end of the movie when he gets ghost murdered, does he understand that Swayze is still in play? Or does he
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Swayze's just gone and out of the picture?
Swayze's like, once he gets his ghost powers, it's like
Hey, man.
harassing him.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where the typewriter comes in. I believe he types his name, Sam. He's like, who is that? And he just writes Sam, 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 Sam over and over on the typewriter.
Gotcha.
Spooky.
Yeah. There's definitely a scene where they go to a bank and Oda Mae Brown is trying to transfer money.
Oh.
And then I believe he knows that like the people that murdered him were hired by the creepy guy. The creepy guy is somebody that they know, and so there's a point when he comes to the apartment to like
Comfort.
comfort the Demi Moore's character,
Oh, no.
Creep Supreme.
and that's when he is like, you have to get out of this house.
Yeah.
The creep says to get out of the house, or
No,
Patrick Swayze's like,
Patrick Swayze is like, you need to get out of this house.
Oh, okay.
And then he does a whole haunting of this guy, and
Nice.
that's what he scares him into a window pane, and that's what kills him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dan's bet, the guy who plays the creeper,
yeah.
I don't remember his name, but I'm going to recognize him, and he is the actor he's like the grandson of one of the MGM dudes that like founded MGM.
Oh, like in real life?
Yeah. The actor is like the grandson of one of those dudes.
Oh.
And like, he's like, oh, that guy. That's my bet.
So it's
Great.
like
Yeah.
MGM grandson.
Jimmy
But he's like an actor.
Jimmy Goldwyn or
Yeah.
Jimmy Meyer or whatever.
Yeah.
One other trivia piece of information that I've somehow collected and held on to all these years is that the...
Well, you had to do your research for the newspaper.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
You
true.
had a whole
But
report
the singer-songwriters for Unchained Melody, and I cannot think of who they are right now, but they did not have the rights to that song. It was one of those like 1960s deals where it was your big break.
Oh, yeah.
Record this demo.
Oh.
So this song became huge when this movie came out. Like you could not escape it. This
Yeah.
might be another reason I really hated this movie. But
You were too busy listening to like Cheap Trick and Rat.
I was like a flannel shirt wearing Led Zeppelin listener at one point that transitioned into a Nirvana listener.
Yeah.
Like I was not super up on current songs.
I mean, that's...
But anyway, Unchained Melody is a beautiful song, but it's sort of like Christmas music. When you start to hear it everywhere, it was just really everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't make any money off of any of that, so that they re-recorded their own song and tried to get it up on the charts. And it sort of chased, their song was, re-hit the number or something. Top 10, it was on Casey Kasem, I remember that. And
The one they recorded or the bad one?
No, the bad one. Or the original one did well. I don't know what the top...
That's rough.
Yeah, so that's a bummer. Anyway, hold that in your hearts when you're watching this
Yeah.
movie.
Ugh.
Another ghost effect that I've heard about
Spooky.
is that after this movie came out, there was a measurable increase in pottery classes. That, people got in
I
there.
can only imagine.
Yeah, because that pottery scene, very hot.
It's steamy.
Yeah,
I might get embarrassed watching it.
yeah, you might. I also get this movie confused with Jumpin' Jack Flash,
What? Why?
What?
which is another Whoopi Goldberg.
I believe so,
movie.
yes.
And maybe Crocodile Dundee's the other guy.
What?
I mean, the actor who plays Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you confused Crocodile Dundee with Ghost.
Oh, no.
And I did not understand.
Because I think Jumpin' Jack Flash has a whole other, that era computer storyline happening to Whoopi Goldberg, like green and black LCD screens, typing out messages, hacking the internet. So that movie's pretty good.
I just want to say when Dan Jaquette makes typing motions that are retro, it's like two little bird faces pecking at a common plate of food.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
It's very nice.
Thank you. Maybe we'll post a GIF of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. If we get a
Gift.
$500 donation.
Tweet at us. First send us the money, and then tweet at us. # Gimme them bird hands.
Yeah. All right, so here's a question. If we propose to believe Molly's review that this movie has everything, do we think it'll have the following things?
Okay.
Be scary. Halloween. Ooh.
Spook.
Spooky.
Yeah, I think
Yeah?
that I think especially that first scene where they get attacked is pretty scary.
Is there a cat in
Also-
this movie?
He
think
gets
there's-
ghosted in scene 1.
It's pretty
no,
early.
It's early in the movie.
It's like
But
pottery.
I do think that there's a scene where one of the other murderers gets killed first.
Oh, there's two
Oh.
murders?
How many murderers are in this
I think
movie?
it's 3 murderers.
Oh,
3?
This is
yeah.
ridiculous.
One of them gets killed in the street, and that's
Yeah.
when the little ghost
Yeah,
gremlins
that's when
come
they
out the
first
first
come
time.
out.
And you're like, whoa.
I want to say he's wearing a red jacket and he has jerry curls.
Yes.
Whoa.
Because I feel like he
Hard
looks,
bets.
I feel like he looks a lot like Michael Jackson in Thriller.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just my memory, so I might just be thinking of Michael Jackson in Thriller.
Yeah. Okay. Dan's hope in that scene out in the street, there's a hot dog guy. Because I think this is a New York-based
Oh,
movie.
this is our chance.
Yes.
So,
Hey, get out of the street!
oh, you're gonna get hit by that car! Whoa, hey, you want a dog?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Okay. Will it be romantic?
yes.
Sure.
Everybody across the board.
Bordering on embarrassing.
Will it be action-packed?
I think it's action-packed.
There's probably one scene where there's something thrilling happening when Demi is in danger or something, right? I don't know.
I'm sure there's action.
There's
There's
a
the
whole
that
training
subway
montage.
thing. Yeah, the train montage.
Oh, yeah. That dude's great, too. The creepy ghost mentor.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anything to do with Swayze.
I don't know that actor's name, but he's great.
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, he gets forced to be a ghost mentor?
Yep, Swayze's bugs him all the time.
He's like, how do you do that?
Oh, I feel like I'm going to hate this character.
Do you just wait? So if you're a ghost, you just follow other ghosts around and hope they tell you stuff?
I think he's like, that guy can see me.
Oh, sure.
Why? Because he's very lost.
Yeah.
He doesn't. It's not like Beetlejuice where there's a manual
Right,
away.
and a helpful lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's great. Will it be humorous?
I mean, it sounds like this ghost guy is funny.
Yeah.
Whoopi
I think
Goldberg
there's
is-
some laughs in there.
Yeah.
This movie does have everything.
Will
What
it
else do
be-
movies have?
Oh.
There'll be crying for sure.
Oh,
Not
sadness?
from me, but I think Demi Moore
Within
cries.
the
She
film.
cries.
Yeah.
There's a pretty solid tear on her cheek with
Yes.
the Penny scene.
Yes.
Let me present a possibility based on your knowledge of this movie and your knowledge of me as a person. Will it be annoying to me at any point?
At any point.
Oh, I would say
Yes.
a few points
Okay.
for sure, yeah. Not Beth.
I'm really fascinated by this because have you seen it since you were 15 years old?
No, I haven't.
Oh, nice.
Probably
I'm
not.
just curious because, like, you might have been at an age where you're like, oh, everything's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean, I was wearing Doc Martens, so I'm pretty sure I understood things
Was
about
this
the
a point
world.
where you were real turned off on the idea of romance?
Oh.
And so any sort of romantic movie would be like,
Oh. Stupid.
Because, like, Stan's not asking me out.
Yeah, it's not like Stan would ever do pottery with me.
Okay, this is a grossly inaccurate portrayal of my inner thoughts and feelings at that time.
Dear Molly, you're a wonderful creature and a beloved human on this earth. You keep going, girl.
Is that from Stan?
Love, Molly. No, that's from your head.
You're writing to yourself.
You're doing your internal monologue.
No, I don't think so. But I was pretty cynical at that time. So I guess we'll just find out.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see.
I feel some real
Should I not sit next to Molly this time because she's going to ruin it?
I almost forgot something really important.
Okay.
What?
Which is that this is where I learned the word ditto.
What?
Because he always says,
Twice?
no, she says, I love you to him. And
Oh,
he
I'm
always
gonna
says
hate this.
ditto.
Oh,
And
because
so
he's
that's
a
kind-
man and he
that's a
can't
point of
express his
contention.
genuine feelings.
So at the end, he's released from this world, and he
yeah.
goes into a ball of light.
Spoiler alert. Thank you.
But right before she sees him,
Oh.
and she, I believe he says "I love you," and she responds "ditto."
Oh.
And then that's the end. But it's like in a very sweet way.
He finally learns how to
like,
express himself after being a
And then he
ghost.
goes out receiving a burn.
Yeah, it really
To me, right?
He got burned.
It's like an inside joke, right?
Yeah.
Kind of,
No,
but
it's-
like, is that the time?
I guess it's your last chance. It's like your last chance to talk to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they could have done two things in that scenario. They
Yeah.
could do "I love you," ditto, or they could have had her say "I love you" and him also having said "I love you."
Yeah.
But in that way.
Also was closure.
I feel like
Yeah.
there were so
I
many...
also am
I
loving you.
also am loving you, ditto.
also am loving you, ditto.
Let's cram it all in there.
Oh, I'll be so disappointed if that's not what he says now.
Maybe there was an earlier draft.
I'm sure there was.
I feel like there must have been.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Well, so given all this information, Dan Linden, how many Creep Supremes are you going to give this one?
And these are good.
Good. Yeah.
Creep Streams is a good measurement. Some more
Well,
is better.
it's just the most interesting phrase that I've heard so far.
Okay, sure. I mean, that's fine.
Spooky points.
Oh, I love that. Oh my god, I love
That is our
that.
Halloween
Spooky
episode.
points.
Lightning crash. Lightning crash.
I'm gonna say 2.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh, it's brutal.
This is one of those movies where pop culture has given me an idea of how people feel about this movie, and usually when I see these movies, I hate them and think they're dumb and don't understand why they're so popular.
So you currently and me at 15 probably on the same page.
Well, from what you've said already of you at 15, we probably would have got along great. I mean, now I'd be like, get over yourself. But like when I was that age, I'd be like, this girl is cool.
She gets it. Everything is the
Oh,
worst.
she's wearing flannel listening to Led Zepp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beth?
I'm gonna give it a 4, probably. Because, like I said, it was my favorite. I probably would have given it a 5 back in the day, but I'm sure there are going to be some things where it's dated. So, 4.
Cool. I'm not sure what to do. I feel like this movie is going to be very anchored in its time. And that, I don't know if that'll be delightful or annoying. I remember enjoying it when I watched it earlier, but I feel like it's just going to be crappy now and I'm going to laugh at it a bunch. I'm going to go 4. I'm going to be Beelbold and say 4. There's going to be Swayze. Always love a good Swayze.
Yeah.
And he's
So
going to
good.
You
display
gotta love a
some
good
real
Swayze.
emotion.
Yeah.
And it's got something for everybody.
Apparently.
If I know my The Southerner columns.
Do you partly feel pressured to put a high ranking because you remember your own experience when we watched Romeo plus Juliet and we all shit on it and you genuinely seem to like
And I
it?
apparently like romantic movies now.
Right. And now you've been listening to Beth talk about it for the last half an hour and you don't want to be that person for Beth?
Maybe. And I'm also kind of anticipating a low rating coming into Molly. And I want to make sure we've got some tension.
Right.
Podcast.
Because the listeners love when you
Listeners
two...
love our chemistry.
Yeah.
Molly?
Oh,
Spook points?
gosh.
How many spook points?
Spooky points.
Spooky points. That
Spooky
sounds
points.
better. That is less problematic.
Gosh, I still feel bad about ruining one movie for Dan. I don't remember which one it was. Oh, I think it was Aladdin. And I don't want to do that, and yet I feel pretty solidly that I'm going to hate this movie so much.
I want you to be honest,
Yeah.
as you were not in 15-year-old.
Yeah. This is Molly Redemption, remember?
Okay, all right.
Colon.
I do think, though, so I'm going to give it a 2 with hopes that I will like it more. I think it will be more poignant for me because Patrick Swayze has actually passed away. In
Oh,
this.
Jesus, Molly!
Well, no, it's going to
Yeah.
be like different. It's going to feel different.
Now I'm sad.
Me too.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
I totally forgot about that, and now I feel bad. This is going to be like, oh, no. He's a treasure. All right.
So
Keep going.
Well, no.
How else are you going to ruin this for us?
Aside from the music and the it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
My genuine hope is that I will keep my angry, sullen version of myself at bay enough to let this movie in.
Yeah.
Much like Whoopi Goldberg let in
Ah.
Sam the Ghost, which creeps me out.
Let's you and I together allow ourselves to consider bump this up to a 3 after we watch this.
I can't wait.
How generous.
Yes.
And with that, we're going to hit pause, go watch Ghost, and we'll be right back. And we're back. We've just watched 2 hours and 7 minutes of Ghost, or as Dan Linden has renamed it, Ghost Rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The almost last note I wrote in the time that we watched the movie was, nobody glowers like Swayze. And it's true.
There are a lot of close-ups of his face
my God.
displaying emotion.
Yes,
Oh,
and all of
yeah.
those close-ups are amazing.
Yeah.
I wrote down gerbil betrayal eyes.
What?
Gerbil betrayal.
Please explain.
You want to unpack that a little?
There's a moment where Patrick Swayze's face, he's been terribly betrayed by his best friend.
Yeah.
Everything that you guys set up was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And they just cut to his face, and there's just something about the mild movement of his eyes that looked just like an anime gerbil. It was both cute and heartbreaking.
Yeah. His eyes are very watery at that point.
Yes.
He's
So-
probably,
They have that shine to it.
crying.
He's got to step up his eye water game if he's going to be on level with Demi Moore.
That's
Oh,
true.
that was
Oh,
amazing.
God.
She has literally the perfect tear in this movie.
It's incredible.
Her eyes are welling up. She's looking down. She looks up, blinks, and it just completely drops. It's at the perfect moment.
Yeah.
Oh, and they synchronized the whole musical score to that
incredible.
moment. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Do you think she either just figured out how to do that well and was like, I want to do this a bunch of times, or it's something she's just really good at and it's in her contract that she gets to make a bunch of tears happen? If they were real, I don't know if they did the thing where they put drops in your
No,
eyes.
those were real. She is a professional.
Yeah.
She's
They
a
were
pro.
amazing.
She's a pro.
It was truly amazing. We were wrong about some things, but I feel like we earned a lot of spooky points.
Oh, yeah. Happy Halloween.
Oh, right.
The opening of this movie.
The terror of heartbreak and committing yourself to another person.
Yeah, that's the real terror. But I want to talk about the beginning of this movie.
Yes, please.
Which, there's the Paramount, yada, yada, yada stuff, and then just Ghost!
Yeah.
Hard orchestra note.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's in scary movies where the violins go crescendo.
Yeah.
And it's that's what happened. It was
Yeah.
like a pop-out moment.
It was like
Yeah.
the opening of a Hitchcock film.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like, 3 minutes of a slow pan across, I don't know what.
Construction.
Like, construction,
Their
but it's...
apartment.
Yeah.
The apartment that they bought.
Yeah, but it's... I didn't figure that out till the end.
No.
Right.
Like, it's really unclear, at least to me.
If you... Yeah, you didn't know what it was until they were like, "Oh, this is our new apartment."
Yeah.
When the scene started,
If,
but it
for
was
example-
3 minutes of like, "What is happening?"
Yeah. If,
And
for
then-
example, you'd never seen this movie, you just saw basically a camera pan over a bunch of dusty garbage
Yeah.
with no context.
Yeah, and the music goes from, like, scary
Yeah.
music to, like, nice, peaceful, romantic music
Yeah.
all in that span. It's a very bizarre opening.
And it kind of goes back into spooky for a while.
Yeah.
And then comes back out again.
Because love can be spooky.
Yeah, I would love someone to map out the emotional quality of that opening number and see if it syncs up to the movie.
Ooh, like the pattern
Yeah,
change.
because
Yeah.
the movie does have something for everyone.
It really
As
does.
15-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Molly Chase.
thereabouts, Yep.
And I just wonder if that's like a little, like, here's going to be your emotional ride
Yeah.
over this 3-minute, like, dusty garbage pan.
So, like, if you had majored in symphonic composition, you would have been like, "Oh, I know how this movie's going to
yeah,
go already."
I don't need to watch it. I don't know.
And you wouldn't. You could skip the whole thing.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, Beth. Oh,
I
no.
love this movie.
Save it.
Dan, as someone who had never seen it before,
Yeah.
you thought there would be pottery.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
There would be an evil ghost or maybe a jerk and he would be attacked.
I mean,
For sure happened.
that's true, right?
Where you
Yeah.
think, but you were thinking of that ending scene where Tony Goldwyn, who I nailed it, and
Yeah.
Jim grandson,
Totally a golden.
who I thought was actually really great.
Yeah, Carl.
So good.
Were you thinking of that scene?
I guess the closest there was to an evil ghost was just that like jerk, crazy ghost on the subway.
Mentor.
Yeah, ghost mentor.
Ghost mentor.
Because he was a jerk, kind of, but he was misunderstood. You learned later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had some sort of mental illness that carried over
He was
into
Poor
also
guy.
very sad as well.
Yeah,
Whoopi would be in this, yes.
nailed it.
And you would think it's Dirty Dancing a lot and hope it's Point Break. Did those two things happen?
That only happened, I would say, once each.
Yeah.
Like there was definitely a moment that Molly and I shared where like there was a tender moment between Ghost Sways and Demi Moore, and we both were like, "This is where that song from Dirty Dancing is supposed to come in."
Yeah.
And there was definitely a moment, I feel like maybe when he was still alive, where he made some semi-deep comment, and I was just like, I just was waiting for him to just turn and have like that beautiful sun-kissed hair
Yes.
and the tanned body and just jump on a surfboard.
Yeah.
More like body.
We're out of a plane.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, or just called to be more compadre.
I think any good Swayze movie, there's a moment where you see how good he is at dancing. Like,
Yeah.
it just peeks through. Like, in this
Yeah.
one, when he's jumping between trains, it's like, that's a dancer
That
jump.
graceful leap
He's
between
so
subway
graceful.
trains. So good.
He can't not be.
Right.
In every movie. Roadhouse, he does it. There's
Yeah.
moments where he's like a tough bouncer, but it's like,
Come on.
you're a dancer. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And this one had it.
Oh, I'm sorry. The other moment I was wishing it was Point Break was when he was fighting his attacker, Willie Lopez.
Oh, yeah.
I was like waiting because there was a lot of just like close, like struggling, and I was waiting for them to like separate so we could see some of that sweet Bodhi karate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bodhi would have been able to repel that attack
Yeah.
there.
No question.
For sure. So we were pretty right. He got murdered. Although I imagined it was an intentional murder and it was a botched robbery. Is that true?
That's what we gathered from
yeah,
the
I was
dialogue.
a
Wasn't
little confused
100%
about that going in
clear.
there. And it wasn't for life insurance money. It was he worked at some financial
Some
place
bank.
Yeah.
where his friend was stealing money, and so his friend needed his account code
Right.
in order to transfer some money over.
Yeah.
$4 million.
$4 million
Which he
even.
needed to not be killed by drug people.
Mr. Bashalavitz or whatever.
Policy.
Balasabi.
Hey, get your money. This is another good, like, 80s, 90s movie where people just have business jobs.
Yeah.
And they work in, like, finance.
Yeah.
And they wear their shirts to the office.
Oh, it's amazing.
And they're in an office and they're doing money stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. on their computer.
lot of
and it's
dots.
all like really unclear what's happening.
Like literally when he got into the office, the Japanese were there.
Yeah.
Like that's all we knew.
He was nervous for the Japanese.
And they were
meeting.
early, of course.
Yeah. Their Swayze and Tony Goldwyn's friendship, if you didn't know that he was a super creepo, is kind of charming at the beginning. Like
Sure.
the three of them.
Yeah.
They're all like best buds.
Yeah.
I guess not. Well, I guess they are.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, he like was the one person helping them remodel that apartment, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what makes the betrayal so...
But it's such a turn.
It
like,
really is.
it's so
Major
quick,
Well,
right?
but I have to say, when the two of them are on their own in that elevator, and they are such bros.
Such bros.
Oh, they bro out hard.
Yeah.
I got a
rash on my dick. I can't touch anybody.
Pretty much how that scene goes.
Yeah, that's what they're
I
doing.
mean, they were a little more graceful about their language. But.
Yeah.
Hey, Susan, looking good today.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
that Swayze or Carl?
That was
Swayze
Swayze.
dropped that.
Yeah.
Swayze.
Well, that's what I was going to say is I feel like once Swayze dies, he does like a 180 too.
Little bit.
Like he's not really, I mean, he's fine. He's like a nice enough guy,
Yeah.
but he's not like he's not stand up. He's not a stand up dude in,
True.
the,
Well,
in
then-
the first part.
In that case, Heaven has some pretty low standards, or maybe that's why they're like,
Whoa,
oh,
strong
well,
words.
because he makes Heaven wait like he's making Uber hang on a minute while he says goodbye to his girl or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like, he gets called for by the afterlife, and he's like, actually, I'm going to stay
Twice.
here. Twice.
Twice he does
And the
that.
second time, like, I mean, come on, it's not like hailing a cab. He has this opportunity to be free of wandering the subways, like that mentally ill ghost mentor.
Yeah.
And he's like, chill there for a minute. I got to say goodbye to a couple of people and do some kissing.
Okay. Well, the first time he looks over and the love of his life is holding his dead body in her arms.
Blood covered.
And crying, and she's alone. And then he walks away.
That's true.
So he's trying to not leave her alone with his dead body. So I feel like it's justified.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second time, he just like saved her life, and he never had the chance to say goodbye.
But what's going to happen? What's going to happen when the police show up? This man,
The first time or the second
robber
time?
guy, the second time. I'm sorry. So first of all, I would like to acknowledge your point and say you are absolutely accurate, Beth. I had not thought about it that way. But I am mildly concerned. Is it okay that I'm jumping to the end?
Sure.
Yeah.
For it.
I'm very concerned. You have this woman who is Whoopi Goldberg's character who, though for good purpose, has committed bank fraud
Right.
by withdrawing $4 million and then donating it.
Right.
But then the guy that she defrauded winds up dead at like 11 p.m.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's going to be
know.
a sticky situation for
She's the
sure.
one with the criminal record.
Ooh,
Also,
yeah.
the one
No, this
guy-
is privilege is coming to bite him.
Yeah.
The one guy does have his wallet in his apartment, so they can go back to that.
Which guy?
Willie
Lopez?
Lopez?
There's some links to, hey, they were doing some messed up stuff.
Maybe. I don't know.
There might be a paper trail as evidenced by
Oh, yeah.
Carl throwing all those papers on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ground,
yeah.
all that dominatrix printer paper all around.
Yeah, after the computer stopped helping him.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's true. There's some
All
paper.
right.
But I agree. I think, like Ghost 2, there's a good chance Whoopi's in jail,
Yeah.
like wrongfully accused.
Yeah.
Although, as we also decided, Ghost 2 might be Sister Act 1
Yeah.
because she gives $4 million to the nuns.
Right.
Yep. So she's already in good with the nuns.
In good with the nuns. I believe the premise of Sister Act is she's hiding from the mob.
Yes, maybe
Gangsters?
that's how it happens because she knows this situation doesn't look good for her because there's a dead businessman.
Who's in with the mob.
Businessman, right?
Yeah.
Dead in front of her. She has a record. She flees to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Becomes a singer or whatever she does in Sister Act. Some kind of show, lady, right? Lady show? She does
I've
don't
never
know.
seen it.
She does a show. Don't worry about it. She does like some kind of show. Like she does, that's why she's like so good at the music.
Right.
And then she has to go, then she's like has to hide in the nunnery because of the mob. So yeah, that actually kind of tracks.
It's a pretty good
I
mapping.
love it.
Yep.
And Sister Act did come out 2 years after this. Oh, this was 1990. Good job, Molly.
Yeah.
Nice.
No one else bet.
Oh.
You did it.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yee.
We were, first of all, the pottery scene. a little gross,
Yeah.
kind of hot.
Mostly gross.
It was mostly gross.
It was
all
long.
alive.
It was, yeah.
There's no ghost pottery.
I think I've only seen this movie on TV, and I know a lot of that was cut out because it's very intimate, but also I think it's shortened, and I don't ever remember seeing the first 10 minutes of the movie. So I don't know if that's because I just start in late on the movie, or if they actually cut that part out of
No
TV
network
edits.
in the world is going to show that much of a dusty construction.
Right?
scene.
Yeah,
That for
right.
sure is not in it, because I've never seen that part for sure.
Yeah.
There's also a good 2 minutes of them deciding how to pull that angel statue into the window.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like that's the first image that I remember seeing is that angel going through that window.
And then we see Sways doing some Sways moves.
Yeah.
Serious
Some
way of
gymnastics.
Yep.
kicks the angel, so then it moves back and then swings forward into the
Oh,
apartment.
is that foreshadowing for the big block and tackle that eventually kills Carl?
Probably.
Which just swings back and breaks the window to guillotine him?
Yeah.
Oh, probably, right?
Sure.
Probably.
I mean, the technical aspects of this movie, they're doing it. There's a lot of interesting fades and transitions.
I would say some self-conscious transitions at time where you would hear one or all four of us audibly say, "Ooh, transition."
But they're doing it.
Yeah. They've committed to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're thinking about them. They're not just using standard transition.
No, it's throw the pillow at the camera. Now we cut to New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are in New York.
There's the one where he jumps up and he hits the sign with his hand, and then it cuts to the hand on the outside of the psychic studio.
Yep.
Psychic Studio.
May I just go back quickly to the angel scene?
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
We already talked about the end.
Well, there you go. But that whole scene, in a nutshell, is part of why I object to this film. She is doing it.
She's just
she
fine.
is going to
Yeah,
get
she's
that
doing fine.
angel inside. She's
Yeah.
fine. She maybe reaches out a tiny bit. What does he do? First of all, bro prankster.
Yeah.
Makes her feel like she's going to fall, and then pulls her into a loving embrace and pulls her inside as if she were a child.
Yes.
And gently reprimands / teases her,
Yeah.
throwing an egg.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. And then he let me handle this, worker dudes, and
Right.
does a total Sways move,
Yeah.
which is in fact very elegant and efficient to bring the angel in.
Yeah.
And then there were so many points in this movie where she would be vulnerable or put herself out there and just be bossed around or told what to do or dismissed.
It's true.
Okay.
true.
Counterpoint.
Counterpoint from
Yes.
that.
Love it.
I think most of that behavior happens before he dies, right? So
He still bosses her around after he's dead. He just does it less and less.
but I think the argument is that she asks him right before he's killed, "Do you love me?" Mm-hmm. And I think the whole thing is he's kind of this bro-y guy but he underneath he does really love her, and so the entire second half of the movie he's proving to her how much he loves her and cares about her.
Beth, do you hear yourself? That love transforms this bro, non-committal dude into a great dude. He just has to die first.
I don't understand what's bad
no.
about it. I think there's major, okay, this happens in all movies. There's some major life change, and that's when they decide
No,
that's how they have to.
The most
get it.
major
I
of
mean,
life
change.
changes.
And this one,
The
it
end
just
of it.
happens to be that he is killed.
what does it take, ladies? Well, no, so fair enough. I understand. There are character arcs. I get that. But I think this just also plays into that whole fantasy of if you love a man enough, he'll change.
Sure.
I don't necessarily think he's changing as much as trying to understand himself.
Yeah.
It can be difficult for a man
A modern man.
A modern man
shall we say.
the business world to be able to be in touch with one's emotions and be able to identify what one is feeling.
Would you say you would have to take your feelings and force them down into your gut and use all your love and all your rage to be able to move an immobile object?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, actually. Let's stretch this out as far as we can, because I think Beth actually has a point. Let's consider this.
Oh, wait a minute.
Let's consider this. He's this bro-y dude. He does this sweet acrobatic kick move, solves the problem. Angel statue swings out, comes back.
I want to
right?
quickly side note about the angel scene.
Yeah.
His shirt is out of control. Amazing.
Oh my god, that's right. I forgot about the shirt.
It's like a tucked in short sleeve button, just like a bunch of paint was thrown at it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is like
Google, I don't know, Patrick Swayze, ghost shirt, angel scene.
Probably just ghost shirt, because the rest of the time it's like
That red one.
The
That's
red
kind
one.
of the red, like...
Yeah. So maybe you do have to say angel scene because they don't
Anyway,
specify. Anyway,
back to it.
okay. So he's physically fit, right? Very capable. He dies, right? Mm-hmm. All his strength is meaningless. He tries to punch things. He tries to grab things. He tries to stop her from doing things. He can't. All his physical strength is gone. He has to learn how to be emotionally strong, right? He has to learn to use his emotions to affect change in his world. Huh? All right? That's something.
No, but that's exactly what I think.
Yeah.
I think it's that he's no longer affected by this, like, societal, like, body thing that he has, right? All of a sudden it's like, now this is who he really is in the inside.
Yeah.
It's his soul.
Yeah.
And that's the good Sways.
We were unfortunately mistaken that Whoopi and Demi banged.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't.
Oh, did they bang? Did
No.
they bang? Did they bang?
Did
It's
they
a segment of Did they bang?
Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got radioactive blood. Look out. Here it
Did they
comes.
Swayze does possess Whoopi.
Yes, it is consensual.
It is mild consent.
Yeah, I agree.
It
It's
is
reluctant consent.
that is caveated with "do it before I change my
I
mind."
know.
It's also volunteered, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Just be careful how far you're willing to go down this path to defend Whoopi Goldberg in a movie made in 1990 and hear your words and think about it now, right? Oh, we were making out, and she said, "Go ahead and
they
have
weren't
sex with me
making
before
out.
I change my mind." No, I'm saying this consent thing. Right? Like there's the consent in the conceit or the world of Ghost, right? And that doesn't really matter.
It doesn't
If we're
matter.
talking about consent in a larger way, then yes, an enthusiastic yes is extremely important, and it's hard with 2016 eyes to watch this 1990 movie and not be like, wow, every woman is trampled in this.
So you don't think a truly evolved Swayze wouldn't have taken
The offer.
that offer?
Not at that point, no. But I would say he was certainly less broed out than he was at the beginning of the movie.
Because of
To
his emotional
Beth's
journey.
point.
Would
His
you have
emotional
preferred
arc.
if he had said, "Are you sure?"
Yes.
Okay.
And if she had said, you know what, I really want to do this for you.
I want you to experience the touch of your lover
Through me.
through me one last time.
Yeah.
I am consenting to entering my body and taking control of my muscles and eyes.
Yes.
That's what you wanted, that scene?
Well, not that long.
Honestly,
but you
that
know
would
what
have fit
I'm
in with a
saying.
lot of the rest of this movie because there were a lot of scenes that were like 2 minutes longer than they had to
Oh,
be.
at least.
Yeah.
True.
Pacing was...
A little weird.
Oh,
a little weird.
God, do you know how long it took just to establish Ghost rules?
Oh, man.
I was like, the movie is called Ghost. We get that he's gonna die and be a ghost.
Yeah, I do want to talk about the ghost physics and rules in a second, but we should wrap up Did They Bang?
Oh.
They danced.
They danced and caressed each other.
Yeah.
Soulfully.
They didn't even kiss.
They didn't even kiss.
No.
And it is, again, the only time... I guess we only see possession one other time, but it's the only time of the two where the camera changes so it sways instead
It's
of...
ghost vision.
It's ghost vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does one of the things that I find unpleasant of someone rubbing their thumb across someone else's lips.
Because all you can think is, like, that's Whoopi Goldberg's hand.
No, like any
Just in general.
that move.
Yeah.
It's creepy to me.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Sure. Did you have a height problem with that dance scene?
Absolutely.
You had a lot of hype.
I had several height problems with all of the ghost moments. Like, first, when he first figures out he's a ghost, he's in the hospital learning that he's dead by that kindly old man.
Yes, who's waiting for his wife to die.
But also, apparently, he's just kind of like hanging out watching other people die. It sounds
Yeah.
like.
There's
It
a
sounds
lot
like
of
he
people
doesn't.
dying in that hospital.
Yeah, like Beth said, those doctors are having a bad day. But there's a point where when he first kind of learns, and we learn, that he goes through stuff when he's not thinking about it,
yeah.
is where a pretty short staff member of the hospital takes the gurney that has Swayze's body on it and rolls away. And Swayze's like, wait, and stands there. And then he comes up to him, and then we get inside a human body vision to show that we're watching Swayze pass through this body. But that dude's head was like at Swayze's chest. So his eyes would just continue to see exactly what he was looking at as the doctor passed through him.
So you think they should have cast a taller doctor?
Yes, if they wanted to use that scene to show the inside of a body through ghost vision, they needed a taller doctor.
There is no taller doctor.
What are you talking about?
The doctor was a man.
It was a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say the mother was a doctor, but it's not true.
The mother was a doctor.
What are we talking
Have you not heard that riddle?
Oh, I don't know. Is it...
Google that. Tweet at us
Ooh,
if
yeah.
you want to hear that riddle. Hashtag Mom Doctor. It's also a spoiler now.
Yeah, that's a spoiler for that.
Hashtag give me that riddle.
Give me that riddle.
Was it... Okay, I had this weird thing where I could not... Like, because the doctor that was explaining it to me more, I guess that, like, he is actually dead. Here are some police. Please talk to them. Like, he never actually spoke audibly, but I couldn't let go of the fact that he looked like he should have been, like, a stereotypical Russian man character. I don't know.
The doctor who is letting her know that...
Yeah, I don't know. He was just like a stocky, bearded fellow, and I just kept thinking he was saying, like, yes, please come with me to talk to police.
You have to fill out report.
You have to... Do you have insurance? Very important. America.
You must need it.
Capitalist medicine. Okay. Anyway, and then the other height issue is that I understand it was ghost vision when Swayze was dancing with Demi Moore. But still, like, if
When
Demi
she
Moore
was-
and Whoopi Goldberg were dancing, like...
She was rotating her head up to
She
put
was
on his shoulder.
Yeah, she was acting as if she was caressing her shoulder when really she'd be sort of just like jamming her head into Whoopi Goldberg's head.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I didn't understand what your height issue is, but now I understand. Swayze is a lot taller than...
Speaking as a tall man, I can tell you that all interactions with humans make you aware of how tall you are. So it is very obvious to me when things do not match up.
Right.
Well, and I do want to admit that it was during that scene where Whoopi Goldberg's body had been taken over by Patrick Swayze that I actually did feel for a moment how sad it was that he was dead.
It took you that long?
Yeah. Yeah. That was the point in the movie.
To be fair, that is like the first time that we really see Swayze be like genuinely moved. Because most of the rest of the time he's just like angry, scared for her, or...
Feeling impotent.
Yeah, or like being sassy. I loved sassy Swayze when he was like haunting Carl.
Yeah.
That was the best.
He doesn't kill two people, but he also kind of does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting how they make that choice of he never is actually taking the action. He just like scares people into them accidentally
Well,
getting killed.
and he scared his own robber into killing him.
Oh,
right?
right. Yeah.
Yeah. If he had just said, give me your wallet, right? The guy who's robbing him comes up and says, give me your wallet. And
What?
why not just pull out your wallet, right? Because they find out later that it was all about the wallet
Yes.
and stealing that.
He was gonna until...
No, he says, take the cash, but keep the whatever. He had like some caveat, and he was being all macho about it, and that's when the scuffle started.
I thought
the
it
scuffle
was...
started because Willie Lopez smacked Demi Moore to the ground, and he was
Yeah.
like, "You son of a bitch," and then tackled
No,
him.
but that didn't happen until if he had just handed his wallet over.
Sure.
This is what I'm saying. And what we find out later is the guy just wanted the wallet.
Yeah.
And if he had just handed the wallet over, done. He's
Yeah.
robbed.
It's like if that person had made a different choice, the crime wouldn't have happened to them. It's like kind of his fault
Yeah.
that happened to him.
No, what I'm saying
if
is...
he hadn't acted that way,
Right. Or if he had just
It would've been fine.
when wearing different clothes, that his wallet was more easier to access when the robber first
or
showed
maybe
up.
if he hadn't walked down that dark alley.
Right.
I
Like-
mean,
Like, I get it. It is his fault. It's 100% his fault.
No, I'm just saying there are 3 people that his actions killed.
Sure.
Indirectly. If you're saying that if he killed people indirectly, he indirectly killed himself.
Fair enough. But
I
really,
see no correlation.
but really, American capitalism killed him.
Yeah, business did.
that's true. This is all business's fault.
Yeah, business,
And
business,
drug
business.
dealers.
Apparently.
I love that drug dealers were involved.
But like vaguely.
Like vaguely, that's all they have to
Very
do is be
vaguely.
like, there's a drug dealer.
We never see them.
No.
And the person he talks to on the phone maybe isn't even one of them.
It's
That
unclear.
was like his
Go between?
Yeah, his go between.
Yeah.
Who was giving very detailed instructions of how to transfer that money that we did not need to hear.
And talk about detail. Poor Willie Lopez has to listen to the whole scheme, including that $4 million are at stake, and he's only getting $80,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's because he's a Puerto Rican, as we find out from Whoopi Goldberg
Yes.
editorializing.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
She's laying down details that aren't necessary.
Yeah, she is not great at keeping it cool for someone who's been arrested like 8 times. I guess she's been
I
arrested
think
8
that's
times.
why she's been arrested so many times.
she's bad at it.
Not good at it,
Yeah.
right?
Beth, I cannot believe the ends that you will go to defend this movie.
I love this movie.
I have a question about that.
I can't
about
believe how much you hate it.
Whoopi's criminal record.
Yeah.
Okay, so Demi Moore, for context, she is at the police station.
Where she is not believed.
Right. And she talks to beloved character actor Stephen Root.
Stephen Root's so amazing.
Yep.
Every time I see him,
yeah.
I'm filled with joy.
Yeah, this scene is pretty incredible.
And I'm not even getting there.
Okay,
We can get to
cool.
that in a second. I had an issue with Stephen Root is like, let me check out, because she's like, look up Willie Lopez, whatever. And he doesn't have a record. But Whoopi Goldberg's character does. And what bothered me was that this record was like several folders that the dialogue established, none of which were from New York. So why would the NYPD already have her entire criminal record from these various states?
Because those headshots were
They
beautiful.
were amazing.
They're really good.
They
She's
were
like
so
the most
good.
photogenic.
Oh my
And
god!
she had an
Mugshot.
outfit to match every year.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
That was great.
I'm just saying, like all of the folders he referenced, none of them took place in New York.
I
So
know.
there was nothing to suggest any of those
was
cases were in New York.
They're like, well, she moved to New York, so we should probably send the folders their way, right?
I guess, yeah. Or maybe like anytime someone moves to New York, the mayor is like, "Call up Shreveport,
Yeah.
give me their records."
Hey, we got a new person in town. Get the criminal record.
Hey, oh, she's in New Orleans. Give me some of them donut things. Ugh.
Hey, beignet.
Hey. Okay, sorry.
But I just also want to underscore that in addition to all the horrible things that happened to Demi Moore's character, not being believed by the police,
Yeah.
top among them.
Not great.
Yeah,
Top.
that's bad.
Yeah, it's a really uncomfortable situation to watch a woman just not be believed at a police station.
Yeah.
And I understand. I know where I'm thinking, but seriously, like it was for her to be belittled. Oh gosh, to be belittled by the lady cop who at the time we felt was our greatest hope to pass
Yes.
the Bechdel
And that
Wallace
was
test.
an amazing scene for us specifically, waiting for the Bechdel
Yeah.
Wallace test to pass.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's just like a moment where like the cop says something to Demi Moore, and
Yeah.
all she has to say is yes, and it passes.
Right.
It's something like, do you really believe? It's like, do you really believe
She
in
asks
all
her
this?
a question. Like
Yeah.
it's set up for her to answer, and she doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
She kind of opens her mouth a little bit.
Yeah, like she's gonna say something.
Sighs.
We were on
Yeah.
the edge of our seats.
and then turns back to Stephen Root.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the lady cop wheels away.
Yeah. So
And
she answers by deliberately not answering
Yeah.
the female cop,
Yeah.
and then looking to the male cop and answering.
And then afterwards,
That's bad.
when the male cop walks away again, they like once again make eye contact, and we're like ready for it, and then it cuts to black and goes to a different scene.
Do you think Demi Moore and whoever Wallace was the... We were even banking on being okay that her name tag had her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like name. We don't
Officer
have to say it.
Wallace. Yeah.
Do you think those two actors were like trying to get lines in, and the director kept cutting and be like, "No, don't talk to each other."
That'd be amazing.
So they just kept like, "I want to say something."
This movie is about men and what men feel and what men think.
It's maybe my favorite Bechdel Wallace Dodge.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
time.
It was
Yeah,
incredible.
that's really good.
And eventually, though, this movie did pass.
Yes.
Yep.
Between Whoopi and Demi Moore. I
Yes.
don't remember exactly what it was. It came pretty late when we finally noticed it. It was something like, oh, what do we do now?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
wait, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
What do we do?
Yeah.
That was key.
And then the next line is,
Where's
what's Sam
Sam?
doing? Let's talk about the ghost physics.
Okay.
I was so bothered by the fact that he couldn't interact with anything but never fell through the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a ghost problem. That's like most ghosts.
Like, I get it's a crazy ass movie if he
Yeah.
just like falls down to the center
But
of the
shouldn't
earth.
they do that at least once?
Yeah.
Like when he's in the hospital or something, he should sit down in the chair and be like, "Oh no!" And then
But he can walk upstairs. He can stand on a subway. It's not
Yeah.
even like solid earth ground, which
Yeah.
would be maybe one level.
I guess you have to just like. I guess they sort of established that you go through stuff by accepting that you can go through stuff. So like his brain is always like, I'm standing on something, so I'm going to stand on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe like you don't have to think about standing.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Yeah.
But
I
don't
mean,
know.
like in the real world,
Yeah.
in theory, he has no mass, so gravity would have no effect on him at all.
Oh, sure.
So he would actually be floating and not.
But then he also
falling.
has no way to propel himself forward.
Right. I mean, he would die and then he would float off into space.
Ooh, and then we get our ghost satellites like we were talking about before.
Yes.
Oh.
Finally.
Well, I suppose with no mass, he
Yeah.
would just stay exactly where he was because there's
Oh, that's true.
there's
'Cause
no
there's no force either way.
to act upon it.
But don't.
But then the Earth would move away from
Right.
him,
Aren't,
so he would end up in space by not moving at all.
Yeah.
Isn't light? Hasn't light been found to be affected in minuscule
That's a good
subatomic
point.
Yeah.
ways?
So is he made of light?
Aren't they?
I guess he has to be if he can be seen.
But he's only seen at the
Well,
end,
there
though. So it's like
goes.
special heaven light.
when they
shows
shine
him.
like the heaven black
Ooh,
light on
yeah.
him.
Oh, well, okay, so he's just not in the visible light spectrum.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, sure. That makes sense.
light.
Yeah, and then heaven turns on the black
It's
light.
like, it's like, oh, I can see him.
Yeah, to show all the sin around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll buy that. I guess.
I guess they're not bad. That just always bugged me.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
I could have used more montage on learning to
Oh,
use
right.
Ghost Force.
Oh man, when he was staring at that penny and then the bottle cap and
Yeah.
then the shoe, I was just like, yes, here we go. And I thought it was gonna be like 10 minutes of him just like pushing things and crazy subway guy like nodding. in the background.
They could have cut out 20 minutes from almost any other scene.
Yeah.
And added it to
Oh, I would've-
montage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote down forever set up ghost. I just
Yeah.
felt like it
Just
took
the
forever.
whole
Just
movie
the
was forever set
for
up.
setting
Yeah.
that it was ghost.
Because like when they first introduced Whoopi's character, like they took their sweet time.
Yeah.
Like just even establishing like why we were even watching this scene.
But she has a sweet gold robe.
Yeah, she
when
does.
she
Oh,
Yeah.
man. No, her entrance. I mean, her actual entrance is pretty great.
That was a really funny scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Some of us enjoyed this.
I thought Whoopi Goldberg was good. Like I can see why she got, statues.
Did she want to?
She did. This
Yeah.
is her Oscar-winning performance.
Which made it
in her
what is that?
EGOT.
Yeah,
EGOT.
EGOT. I had
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
I don't know the order,
EGOT.
but this is the O.
Oh, the order she won them?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I assume she won Grammy for Sister Act.
What?
Emmy? What's the music one?
Music is Grammy.
Yeah, she won the Grammy for Sister Act for singing the songs, I assume.
Oh, really?
I would
that's a
assume it
joke.
was a book. Or
Oh, you win Grammys for
Or-
books?
Or a
performance.
standing up comedy
Yeah, standing up
album,
comedy.
maybe?
What do you win Emmys for?
TV.
TV.
TV. The View? No.
She's on TV. She does stuff on TV.
Hollywood Square.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, I know her later.
She has a storied career. There's a lot of things we don't
Maybe
know
the
about.
newsletter will cover what her other letters did. Whoever's writing that.
But the Tony tweet at us.
yeah,
We're
tweet
not gonna
us.
look that up.
Hashtag what dad? Whoopie Tony.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things to see in movies or real life happen in this movie,
Okay.
which is people yelling at each other from windows in the big zoo.
That was so amazing, and just like a cherry on top. It wasn't necessary at
No,
all.
Whoopi's screaming up at Demi, shouting facts about her green underwear to prove she can talk to ghosts.
Yeah.
And then some workman just pokes his head. It's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Shut up down there!"
She's like, I know you can hear me, and then the guy's like, I can hear you, and then they just start yelling at each other.
Yeah. I
so good.
lived in Philadelphia for a couple of years, and it took almost to the end of that tenure before I saw that happen.
Yeah.
In Philly,
Yeah.
of people just like screaming. I think even cherry on top, it was even a woman throwing clothes down at her boyfriend. Yes. I stopped and I looked and I appreciated the amazingness that was happening. I'm sure for them things were very hard, but for me, it
was great.
Loving it.
City life.
Yeah, city living.
Oh,
I
man.
was thinking during that scene, if that construction worker had been a female construction worker
Yeah.
and had also said, "Hey, my name's Tanya,"
And shut up.
shut up. That would have passed the Bechdel Wallace.
That would have been an amazing way to pass the Bechdel Wallace.
Yeah.
No question.
There's a cat weapon in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, did I remember to ask, is there a cat? Because I kept trying to, but you were going through the list of does it have everything? And I didn't want to interrupt. I felt like I said, is there a cat? Because that would make it everything.
This movie has everything. We haven't even got to that checklist.
But did I say cat out loud?
I
No.
don't think so.
It does have a cat, though.
But there was definitely a cat.
Definitely a cat.
Confirmed
Who
it has a cat.
featured prominently at the beginning and then kind of
Yeah.
I don't see much near the end.
Well, Carl was coming in and out all the time, so it's probably just skittish.
But Carl, the cat didn't care about Willie Lopez sneaking in there.
Yeah, that was weird.
But I guess Carl is sweating immensely.
Yeah,
so probably
and
getting
animals
off
can
a lot
sense
of-
your,
He is
your
so
state.
sweaty.
So
Yeah.
sweaty.
And he just keeps getting sweaty.
Well, he owes
He's even
four-
a sweaty ghost. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys
he was a sweaty
noticed,
ghost.
but when everybody else, when other people died,
Yeah.
they're like all bloody and dirty, and then they turn into ghosts, and they're like
Fine.
fine
Yeah,
and clean
right.
and look fresh.
Right.
Yeah.
Freshly laundered.
Yes, Carl still sweaty.
Nice.
The
Even as a ghost.
Yep.
this movie got me twice in the ghost moments
What does that mean?
when people became ghosts.
Oh yeah, it's tricky.
When Swayze first
Oh,
becomes a
yeah.
ghost, we see him like a gunshot goes off screen, and then you see Swayze chasing Willie Lopez down
Right.
the street, and it's like I definitely thought, I don't know about you guys, like, oh, I thought he died in this scene.
Yeah.
And then they pan back, and he is dead, and that was the ghost chasing it.
I think that's when I said out loud, "Oh, I get it."
Oh, because it was so obvious.
No, but it took me a minute.
Oh, okay.
I did the same thing. When
Okay,
he was running,
good.
I was like, huh.
Common
and then I
ground.
was like, oh, I get
Yeah,
it.
I'm saying it was a subtle and effective filmmaking
And
tool.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
Okay.
But then they got me the second time again when Willie Lopez
Yeah, me
was
too.
smashed by a truck, and then it looks like he's thrown clear, as we know is how you survive accidents.
Yes.
Thrown clear.
Yes.
Just 20 feet in the air, straight
Yeah.
to cement.
And I was like,
Throw him clear.
Fine.
and then he gets up, and I'm like, I thought he was smashed in the scene again, and then he was. Of
Yep.
course.
Great.
Second time.
Yeah, it's a
They're
shame.
tricky.
It's a shame they couldn't do that with Carl.
Yeah,
Because I
third
just
time
would
was
want
like,
to see
Because that
how
was-
they would do that.
So clear how he died.
Except, again, and I know, Beth, that you disagree and that he was killed instantly, but it looked like that glass kind of punctured his abdomen and he would just bleed out or like die of some sort of toxic
Yeah.
sepsis thing over hours of agony.
Although it does look like, judging from Swayze's death,
Mm-hmm.
the ghost pops out before death actually happens, because they
Ooh.
take him to the hospital and like try and save him, right? Because he's like hearing hospital things go off.
Ooh, yeah,
Aren't
there's
they?
a couple moments where he's like looking around and hallucinating. It's like, oh, Sam, don't, and then
Yeah.
an adult
Oh yeah,
saying,
he's like
do
popping back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah, that's the like you have the choice to go into the light or
Yeah.
Hang
go back
out.
in your
Just
body
hang out.
or hang out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or get taken away by creepy crawlies.
Just like
Ooh.
weird noises, those shadow
Yeah,
things.
can
are
we
making.
try to make the noises that
Yeah.
they made?
It was weird.
Okay, that was good.
I thought for as 1990 as those looked, they were still very creepy.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the noise and the like.
The noise is like jarring.
Yeah.
And the shadows convert into little ghosts that grab you and
Yeah.
like pull you down.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are little. They're like little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ghost
Jesus,
Kid
Molly.
ghost. Haunted.
Uh, I was watching this and thinking about our last Halloween special, which this is.
was?
Ooh, Beetlejuice.
Oh.
Right?
Beetlejuice.
Another movie that just had like kind of weird art happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like Demi Moore was like an artist; she was a potter, but then also she unveiled some weird. It was just like a column with some lines on it.
Yeah.
I believe they call it sculpture.
Sculpture, sure.
Yes.
But it was
I thought it was
kinda
a huge
weird.
vase.
Oh, I thought it was just like a slab with some glaze on it.
No, I
There
thought
was
it was
an
like
opening
a
at the top?
hollowed out,
It was
but
hollow?
Like sculpture, but it was sculpture. It wasn't like a giant vase.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was just like a weird like shape.
I don't know.
Right.
You
See?
are as supportive as Patrick Swayze's character is.
Hey, as Patrick Swayze says, it doesn't matter what the critics think. It only matters what he thinks or whatever.
Yeah, what I think.
What I like.
but he's joking about that.
Is he though?
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, let me take an interest in your pottery by sitting behind you because you're not looking at me and paying attention to me and toppling
Yeah,
over
that's
your
true.
pottery.
And he's like,
and
"Oh,
putting
hope it
my
wasn't a
ju-
masterpiece."
And then she says, "Well, it's not now." You know,
Then they
like
bang.
there was then.
That's true. They do bang
They
after
do
that.
wash their hands first, which is
Oh,
good.
thank God.
Thank God, because that was so much clay. You guys, you might have some memory of it being like
Yeah.
not disgusting, but it is.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of symbolism happening in it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as in it's very phallic.
It's very phallic. Very phallic.
It's a symbol of
Everything
the
is very wet.
Yeah, it's
Covered in.
it's gross.
It's very wet.
And there's a lot of play on it.
But then they wash it all off,
And it's good they do because
and then just
like,
start
they
taking
just
full handfuls of each other.
handfuls of each other.
Well, he's got to have a clean hand to be able to rub his thumb across her lip.
Well, and to just like basically like crush her buttocks in his giant Swayze hand. And
And then
then
she tries to crush his abs.
well,
and
yeah,
hers.
to the
No,
point
no,
where
she has
Beth
goes
this
hard.
awkward,
Beth thought
like,
it was his back because it looked so weird what she was doing to him.
She's like pawing his chest, but I thought it was his back, and I was like, "Why? What's happening?"
well, to your credit, though, it was
And then I was
this
like, "Oh, that's a
weird-
belly button."
It was like a weird Muppet.
Yeah.
It was like a Muppet
hands.
It was Muppet hands.
It was Muppet hands,
Because
except for
at first they went up and then they kind of went down.
Yeah.
It was like putting on paint in the Karate
Yeah.
Kid.
Yeah.
It was just
Or
super.
playing the washboard. Because they had his washboard abs. He is very cut in this movie.
He's pretty cut.
Him and
Carl.
Tony Goldwyn.
Right,
Both.
which we learn when he deliberately spills a cup of coffee on his
Oh.
shirt.
oh,
And then just like
That
we
was
joked
upsetting.
about it before it happened too.
Yeah,
like
we
he
should
took
talk
his
about it.
jacket off, and you were like, "Oh, maybe they just popped my shirt off too." And we just were like, "Haha, that's hilarious," because that's what a douchey bro do. And then he actually did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that scene.
Ooh.
He really bothered me. In
Yeah,
that
creep,
one.
that is
He was-
Creepo Supreme.
Creep
He was
Supreme.
taking advantage of someone who was grieving and alone.
Actively
And
crying
very
over her
vulnerable. Yes.
dead lover.
Yeah.
And then he is like, he keeps
Getting closer.
just grabbing her. Like,
Yeah.
he's like,
Touching
grabs
her.
both shoulders, is like almost mussing her hair.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even.
He's like
It's not like a soothing, like,
Yeah.
it'll be okay. It's like, I'm going to try to, like, get on you right
yeah,
now.
he is like physically affecting the strap of her tank top with one of his hands, all while again not wearing a shirt for some reason.
Yeah. And then
Creepy.
they kiss, or he kisses her, and she's too grief stricken and afraid
And
to
alone.
fight back.
Yeah.
Which, as we know from Molly, it's her fault for putting herself in the position.
Yep.
She did open the door.
Yep.
Open the door.
She opened the door.
But then Swayze jumps through them using his rage, his
Yep.
ghost rage,
Ghost rage.
and knocks over a picture, and then she
Picture of himself.
snaps
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
The two of them.
Right.
I mean, that just sounds like there's an 8x10 glossy of him.
His headshot.
Yeah.
I would have that in my house.
I would too.
You don't, though.
I don't.
I
I'd have one of Bodie.
Me too.
So,
Yeah, I was
Now I know what I'm getting all of us for the Christmas episode.
Just different Swayzes.
just all
Oh, and a
Bodies.
Goldblum.
GG.
If you'd like to give us the gift of Bodie and Jeff Goldblum in a frame,
Yeah.
I guess we don't have a mailing address anymore.
No, not
No?
really.
All right.
We can talk about it later.
So don't send us mail, I guess.
Throw it in his mail.
You can always send us gifts.
Yeah.
Gifts.
Yes.
Oh, I
Or
thought you
gifs.
I
said
heard gifts,
Gifts.
at first.
Oh, gifts via Twitter.
yes.
Gifs.
On the internet. No, it's GIF.
It is gift.
We wondered if this
Choosing
movie...
moms choose gift.
Oh wow.
I can't believe I never thought of that before.
You heard it here first. movie fans, a internet-themed peanut butter commercial pun.
Everybody, break out your meme toolkits. So we got to get on this.
For the record, this movie, as stated, was 2 hours plus, which means it is past our bedtime.
I do want to talk about if this movie had it all or not.
Oh, right.
Because that we were wondered. So let's go down the list. Did it have scary moments?
Yes.
I'd
Sure.
say yes, for sure. Did it have romance? Yes. What else did I? Did it have action?
Sure, yeah. There was some running and punching.
There's some chase scenes.
Was it
table flips?
Yeah. Was it humorous? Yeah.
thought it was
I thought Whoopi
There
had
were some moments
funny
where
moments.
Whoopi used her comedic talent and timing, I think.
Yeah.
To
Her
good
sisters were
effect.
pretty funny too.
Yeah,
Nameless.
true. That is true.
Uh,
I did enjoy I really enjoyed when she was copying it to Swayze, because he was like desperately trying to get her to solve all its problems.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "You don't talk to me like that. You apologize right now." And Demi Moore just had to sit there and watch her yell at an invisible man.
although
Yeah.
the thing she was really mad about was him taking the Lord's name in vain.
Right.
Not even her own personal boundaries being violated.
So maybe she really
Man,
is religious
Jesus Christ.
and will end up what?
In the church.
Oh.
Fighting for the Mom Sister Act.
Back in the habit.
That's then.
Sister Act 2.
Yeah.
And then did it have sadness? For sure. This movie
Sure, I mean-
is crazy sad.
Yeah.
It also had ghost rage and very long scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
And self-conscious transitions.
Yeah. So I'd say it has it all.
It also had. Can I use this to awkwardly segue? Yeah, if we're talking about Amor, can we segue into
Yep.
the MVPs of the movie
Yes.
Ghost?
Oh, for
Yes.
sure.
All right.
I have some.
I have my MVP for sure is Plaid Jacket Man
Yes.
in the subway station.
Also my MVP.
There's a point
He's really good.
where Patrick Swayze is like, this is where he first meets crazy subway ghost. Like he goes into a subway train to follow, I think, Willie, right?
Yeah.
Willie Lopez. And then, again, because every scene in this movie is longer than it has to be, we stay in that shot long enough where a dude in a plaid, like a blue plaid suit, to like walk up to the train, stand there a moment, acknowledge that the doors have closed and he has missed the train, and then sort of just turn around, befuddled.
Oh, so good.
He
Amazing.
for sure was able to know that those doors were closed.
Before getting in the
Like
frame.
6 feet
For
before he got
sure.
Yeah. I feel like he was, like, his direction was like, okay, you're going to run up and,
was
like,
late.
miss, yeah, just miss the train.
He was totally
But
late
he
for his
missed
cue.
his cue, and he just ran out, like, maybe, like,
they couldn't-
3 seconds too late.
And they
Yeah.
didn't have time.
Yeah,
to
they're
shoot
like,
it again.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess we'll keep that shot.
Like, look,
no one will notice.
Yeah.
They're going to be paying attention to Swayze.
Oh, I would love it if it was just like, they were just like, well, they're going to kick us out of here in a few minutes, so I guess that's the shot.
One of my MVPs was obviously dude yelling out the window.
Yeah, of course.
But then when we come back to Otomi Brown's medium house, there's like a line out the door now because all the ghosts are here in them. And there's a dude waiting to come in, a live dude waiting to come in, who just he's got like high white shorts on and like a full blazer jacket and like maybe flip flops.
Yeah.
And just like
Amazing.
crushing that outfit. And then there's a ghost inside. After Whoopi gets possessed, and then the dude jumps out and is like, "Well, I'm so tired."
Yeah.
Just a quick cut of another ghost being like, "Yeah, possession. It'll take it out of you."
Just that amazing exposition
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Because we need that. 40 minutes later,
Yeah.
after Swayze comes out of Whoopi's body, and then is too tired to fight off Carl.
But only for like a few minutes.
Because, as Molly pointed out,
One dead guy is still stronger than 2 women.
that's right. Those 2 women cannot defeat the one dude. The ghost who can just scare people, really, and move some objects around. He
Yeah.
has to make it happen.
But also, he is in no danger.
Who?
Sure.
So he can really full-on attack this guy, where they have to be a little bit more cautious because he has a gun.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out.
Well, before we get to how we felt about this, we like to read reviews of our own podcast to see how you, the listener, feels about us, the podcast. Nailed it.
Nurse.
And so if you write a 5-star review on iTunes or a whatever rating somewhere else
Right.
and tell us about it, because we don't look anywhere but iTunes, we'll read it in the impression of someone from the movie or Nick Cage or whatever you want, if we can't think of a good one.
Right.
Is anybody feeling particularly inspired by this movie?
I mean, they all just sort of sounded the same. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe the guy in the window. Hey, who are you yelling at? How about that
Sure.
guy?
Yeah, window guy.
Window guy.
Why not?
You want me to try?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Now that you've introduced that idea.
Yeah.
All right. This is a 5-star review on iTunes by Grifficus from USA.
Ooh, local.
Oh, it's going to be hard for me to read this in a southern accent because it starts with y'all. Okay. I absolutely love this podcast. I find myself totally looking forward to the 15th each month for the treat of listening to all you debate and banter. It's always fun, and I'm particularly a fan of Molly and Dan J back and forth and at each other. Keep it up, and I hope you get multiple more years to keep at it. Oh, God, it sounds like a threat when I read it in that voice.
No, it's great.
We'll be ashamed if something happened to the podcast.
Yeah, it's a great podcast you got here.
Yeah. Oh, I love that banter.
Oh, I'd love it to go on for multiple years if you're lucky. Mustard's extra.
Thank you, Grifficus. It
Thank
helps
you.
us
so
do something
nice.
on iTunes.
Grifficus.
Something.
In iTunes.
I don't understand
it
how
helps
it works.
with the ratings.
Okay.
And, or, I mean, clearly it helps with the ratings, but, you know, where your
It
ratings
helps people
compared to-
find the podcast.
There.
Bump us up on them
Thank you.
lists
Yeah.
or whatever.
Speaking of ratings, the music trivia that I thought I had.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to believe this, but it was incomplete.
Wow.
The important thing to know is that there are actually many people who recorded Unchained Melody starting in 1955-ish.
Okay.
But it is the most popular version is by the Righteous Brothers, which is Bobby Hatfield and Bill Medley. Both of them wanted to sing the solo, but they did a coin toss, and Bobby Hatfield won. He recorded the song several times, but it wasn't until the last time when he did the falsetto, which is what made it dynamite. Anyway, I think they didn't have all the rights, but why would they? Because they didn't write the song, and lots of other people had the rights to the song. But they do have the distinguished feature of being one of the very few bands to have a different version, like a cover of their own song, on the top 100 at the same time. So it wasn't such a bad deal for them. They did okay.
But that was the song in the movie. Was the
It
Bobby?
is the song in the movie. It was
whatever
originally written for a
song.
movie called Unchained. That's why it's called Unchained Melody, which has nothing to do with the...
So is the other version the other dude singing the solo?
No, the other dude never got to sing the solo.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't get to do it because he lost the coin toss. Coin toss.
Great. So basically, the most tragic part of that story is other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, no matter who had the rights, other guy never got his shot.
He
Yeah.
lost twice.
he did.
Bummer.
Sorry, other guy.
Sorry, what was his name? Now I feel bad.
Bill Medley.
Bill.
And Phil Spector took credit for producing it when we know, in fact, he probably did not.
Yeah, Phil Spector.
Yeah, Phil
Yeah.
Spector.
How's jail?
Yeah, right?
Right?
I don't remember.
Tweet at us.
Hashtag Where Dat Spectre.
Yeah.
Or
Ooh.
if it's
Spectre's also
Spectre,
on
Ghost, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're out of jail, I guess tweet at us.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag Google it.
Hashtag Google it. Or Channing Tatum, you're always welcome.
Oh, yeah. If Channing Tatum wants to tell us where Phil Spector is, I encourage it every time.
But we gave this movie spooky points. You gave it 2. I have a note about it just being out there in the pop culture landscape,
Yeah.
and you being done with it because of that.
Well,
Something.
Well, just that, like, usually when pop culture tells me something, especially a property like this, where, like, it's mostly known for, like, oh my god, it's so sweet and romantic. Like, usually I find that means that I just will find it annoying and not having enough, like, other stuff besides, like, the 2 scenes where Unchained Melody's playing, basically. So I assumed it'd be terrible. I wouldn't say it was terrible. I don't know. Like, I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
It's definitely a product of its time. I think Swayze's great, as always. I think Demi Moore killed it with those demi tears.
Some cheers.
I thought Whoopi used her comedic talents and timing well. But on the other side of things, Molly kind of ruined the beautiful ending to this movie because she reminded me that Patrick Swayze is actually dead. And so that whole last part where he's like, the heaven flashlight is revealing him, and he's like saying goodbye to everybody, it was sort of like, oh, it's like we're all Demi Moore and Whoopi Goldberg. And that was not a feeling I wanted. I didn't want to remember that.
Can you make the sound that you make when you get sad?
Something like that, right?
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
This is also, it occurred to me, we're still 100% on Swayze movies where he kind of just disappears at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's that part at the end of this movie where the Australian police officers that come to find out what happened to Carl are like, we get him from heaven. He's in heaven.
Going to heaven. How will he get him beak? That's a New Zealand officer.
Anyway, I don't know, three spooky points.
Great. Beth, number 4 for you, spooky points. Favorite movie in the past.
Yep.
How about today?
I agree with my first half me.
Oh.
She's unswayed.
Dear future Beth,
Dear future
you
Beth.
will agree with me about the rating of this movie.
I still enjoy this movie, as problematic as it could be. But I find it entertaining and funny and also emotional and lovely. And 4.
4. Great.
Spooky points.
I gave it 4 spooky points as well, because I was being Beelbold about it. I think I probably was a little too Beelbold. But not by much. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It did have everything. It was good. It was like very 1990, and so some of that stuck out, but like not in like a ridiculous way. It was interesting to see a movie doing so much. Like I know we joke, it has everything, but it is like a real sad drama movie with a bunch of action, and then also there's some spooky parts.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird blending. I kind of wonder how they marketed this movie. Like the poster makes you believe it's all about love. But most of the plot is about trying to stop someone from being murdered.
Yeah, and like money laundering.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. And that was interesting to see such a wide range of themes.
3.5 spooky points.
Sure, I'll do that.
Wow.
No, I was saying I'm upping mine.
You're upping yours?
okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think 3.5's about right. It's still like it felt a little flat. Like I wasn't too excited about it the whole time.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed everybody in it, and it was good. Molly, you gave it 2 with hopes. I think, as Dan said, you're going to allow yourself the possibility of a 3.
I'm going to say she never did it.
I don't know if you ever opened yourself up to the possibility.
And it was a poignant look at the passage of death.
Oh, I said, yeah.
Or Patrick Swayze's death.
Yeah, because it's true. He has a beautiful speech at the end about how the love inside, you get to take it with you. Which was very sweet. I have to say, because I was watching it with the 3 of you, I had a much more enjoyable experience. Had I been watching it on my own, I really would not have made it past the first 5 to 10 minutes.
You would have got past that intro.
I would have gotten past the intro.
You would have tolerated dusty garbage?
I would have tolerated dusty
the
garbage.
worst part of the movie?
Because was it the worst though? Honestly,
Yeah.
It was.
Oh gosh. Well, but I think probably that very first angel scene would have just done it for me.
Sure. So you would have ridden through the wave of 2 cut, shirtless dudes doing manual labor.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Demi Moore had a scene to herself, you were like, I'm done. I'm done with this film.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I think I was just never saw this at a time that would allow me to let in the magic. And now that I am of a certain age and perspective, the stuff that might have bothered me a little bit bothers me just a lot. Even though, I mean, it's that's maybe too harsh a lens for a film of its time. I'm super excited Whoopi Goldberg received an Oscar for her performance That's really cool. I don't know. It's just a lot of bros and pleats. And I just...
A lot of pleats.
I don't know. I didn't... It was just no Con Air, you know?
Con Air was way more problematic racially.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
In most ways,
Wait
really.
1 second. Wait 1 second.
In most ways.
Probably gender-wise as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
Ways.
for sure.
In
You're right,
all
it was
ways,
extremely
Con Air was more
problematic.
problematic.
Would you have preferred if Johnny 21 had played the Willie
23.
23 had played the Willie Lopez character?
Yeah, would you have preferred if Willie Lopez, like, described his criminal history to Carl instead of just, like, yelling at him and making fun of him? Maybe what she's saying is there's no Malkovich in this movie.
Yeah,
That's
or
true.
Nick Cage.
Or Nick Cage.
I mean,
If this movie had been Cage instead of Swayze,
You know what?
that would have been a miracle of cinema.
It was what it was really missing was some sort of flowing hair.
Yeah.
There wasn't any like even Demi Moore didn't have flowing
No,
hair.
like, they all had nice looking hair.
Oh, P.S. I was obsessed with her hair and I cut my hair like that when I was a kid.
Oh.
I was wondering about her hair. She was like the lady with short hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was.
Time.
Yeah.
She rocked it too.
Yeah,
I
she
think she
does.
rocked that role. Like there would be some lines I'd be like, that sounds kind of throwaway. Oh, nope, that works. That
Yeah.
works really well. She was great.
Kind of a thankless role in this movie,
Yeah.
actually. Like, as much as it's about, like, their relationship, like, she was mostly just there to, like, respond to the ideas being presented to her for most of the
Yeah.
film.
And get saved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she
touched
had
inappropriately by her best friend.
very
Or her
little-
bro friend.
Yeah, she received very little support.
But those
for her
tears.
stuff.
Those tears.
Those
Yeah.
tears.
She killed it. I think she killed it.
Good job, Demi Moore.
Lane.
Didn't kill it as much as Patrick Swayze did because he killed 2 people.
Indirectly.
Fine. Fine. Anyway, I don't want to bring anybody else down. 2.5.
Wow! Look at it! Look what you did there!
You allowed yourself
You
the
opened
possibility to
yourself
feel.
up. You said "I love you" at the end of the movie as you were being brought up into heaven, the heaven of ending this podcast. You can go to bed.
Your heart grew 0.5.
That half point inside you, you'll take that with you, Molly.
Yeah.
Take that with you.
You get to keep that forever.
Thank you for listening to Totes Recall. New episodes drop on the 15th of every month. You can find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Totes Recall Pod. Subscribe on iTunes and leave a review. It helps more people find the show. Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. For more information, check out noisepicnic.com/totesrecall.